Hey friends, Chris DeMakes here. If you love Chris DeMakes a podcast and you'd like to help us continue bringing you great episodes each week, please take a minute to check out chrisdemakes.com. That's where you'll find our Patreon. Our Patreon supporters get instant access to hundreds of episodes of The After Party, our weekly bonus episode that people have raved to us about for years. You can also get ad-free, early releases of each week's episode of Chris DeMakes a podcast, as well as unedited video versions of the show. Even if you're not sure if you want to sign up, you can go to chrisdemakes.com and sign up for a free account. We'll throw you a free preview episode here and there. We can't thank you enough for all the support. And if you have a few extra bucks and you want to help us keep the lights on, our Patreon is the way to do it. Head to chrisdemakes.com to learn more. Hey, rude boys and girls. Today's guests are guitarist and vocalist Aaron Barrett and trumpeter, backing vocalist, and guitarist Scott Klopfenstein from the Huntington Beach, California ska-punk band Real Big Fish. Together, we dive deep into the writing, recording, and inspiration behind the fan-favorite single, The Setup, You Need This, from their 1998 album, Why Do They Rock So Hard? This is Aaron's third time here on Chris DeMakes a podcast, and Scott's second, having appeared last time with Aaron. This song rocks, and the story behind it is awesome. Aaron was very frank in stating that he doesn't really know what or who the song is about. The words just kind of fell out of his mouth. Producer John Avila let the band be themselves, a group of guys in their early 20s, all vying to be heard. In doing so, he captured a band firing on all cylinders. Scott shared how he approaches writing horn parts, and it was super interesting what inspires him. In particular, both the artist and the song that was his inspiration for the big horn hook in this tune. So for all this, and a studio synthesizer that was put to good use, stick around.
Hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a podcast. Hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a podcast. Hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a podcast. Hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a podcast.
All right, guys, The Setup, You Need This. It was on the album Why Do They Rock So Hard, which came out October 20th, 1998, exactly 2 weeks after Less Than Jake's Hello Rockview. Did our record labels have this plan? Were they in cahoots, or was this just happenstance?
If your record label had a plan, that's interesting. I don't think ours ever did.
It came out 2 weeks after?
Came out, yeah, October 20th. Ours was October 6th, so it's something that we don't really talk about a lot, or I don't talk about too much. And I really want to start this episode off by saying that, we should all be really proud of that time period. It was so happening so fast, and we were so young, and, we had other priorities when you're that age. It's about the music, but there's the parties and the record label and all this other stuff going on. But, when I take a step back and think of that time, it was wonderful. And what happened to us, all of our bands, a lot of the bands that we ran with too were very, very talented, but we kind of got a little bit of luck on our side. It was like the ska-punk thing just all came to a head right when we were doing it.
Yeah, we were definitely at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of it.
What's that thing they say luck is? It's like timing and preparation. I think we were also lucky in the regards that none of us had any qualms about working. You know what I mean? That we were just like, the road is where we go, and when we're not on the road, we're working on
that's why we started a band, because we didn't want to work.
Right. So we worked.
But we found out that it's a lot of work.
Yeah, the hour and a half on stage is the joy, and the airports and the travel and all the rest of it can be a drag. But, we all found our way to navigate through it. When I first heard this song, the thing that struck me the most was just, and I stand by it to this day, you guys had some of the best horn sounds and horn parts ever of all the bands that were around then. And I was envious when I heard the horns on this record. I was like, my gosh. And, if we talked about it, Aaron, during when we did Beer and when you guys were on and we talked about Sellout, I don't recall John Avila from Oingo Boingo working on Turn the Radio Off. I thought he only came on board for Why Do They Rock So Hard? So that was surprising to me. I know Jay Rifkin had a co-production on the earlier record. How much did John have input on the first album?
A fair amount, I feel like.
Yeah, but
Also-
I feel like, I think Jay Rifkin kind of took the main.
Yeah. I mean, those tunes also were most of them were so worked out. And we had, and we did a lot of pre-production for that record too, though, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and on Why They Rock So Hard, like half the songs were old songs
Yeah.
that were already written, and then there was the half was new stuff.
Yeah.
We had that luck on our side. And same with you guys. We came about the same time where you had a glut of material.
There were like 30 songs that we were playing live before Turn the Radio Off, and then we were just like, okay, let's do these and re-record some of these from our independent one, and
Yeah.
Now, the one thing besides, and there's a couple arrangement things that are very interesting, a little unorthodox for this song.
As usual.
Especially for a first single of a record. But, something I wondered at the time, I've never asked you guys over all these years, like the setup. Is that like when you like set your friend up with somebody? What's the title? What does that mean, the setup?
It's just the stupidest inside joke. Like we were recording, and the record label, I guess they kind of were liking how that song was coming out, and they kept talking about how they needed setup time for the new single. We need to set up the new single. Like just saying that over and over again. So we just thought it would be funny to call it the setup.
I love that. I thought it was like, oh, we're going to set my friend up with somebody, and I couldn't figure out what you were going for there.
Yeah, well, it seems to make sense because the song, even though it was just random nonsense originally, the lyrics, it kind of sounds like it's like a booty call song or like a song about somebody, like I don't know, but it really isn't about anything. It was just nonsense.
Something else I want to talk about before we jump in the song was I was very surprised to read that Tim Palmer and Joe Zook, I couldn't find much on Joe Zook in terms of what else he's done, but Tim Palmer, he's a big time English record producer.
Yeah.
He mixed Pearl Jam's 10. I knew him from Ozzy. He did a ton of Ozzy stuff. How did that come into play? Because, late 90s, we were kind of all, if you were on a major label, you were going for the Lord Alge brothers and all these guys who were mixing, and Tim seems kind of left of center for a ska punk band.
Funny story, the Lord Alges said no.
No.
We asked them, and they said, this isn't really our thing. We're not going to do this.
But that's, well, and at the time, the only reason they would have said that is if they were too busy with projects and they couldn't get to you, because those guys like money like anybody else.
They said no.
Yeah. And so, I mean, John Avila knows everybody.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of those cats that he has stories for days of like, I mean, like, I just did some recording with him a while ago. And one of the days I walked in and he's like, we're sitting there, we're getting started. And then his phone keeps ringing over and over again. He goes, hey, I got to answer this. I was like, no problem. He picks it up and he goes, well, I got a guy in here. Okay. I got to tell him. Okay. And so I'm like, what's up? He's like, I got to go. And I'm like, dude, I just drove real far to be here. He's like, I got to go play with Bob Dylan. I was like, I'll see you later. Have a good day. Yeah. Let me get out of here. And I was just like, but John's just like, it's just another day. I just got to go play with Bob. I'm guessing he probably knew Tim through John just being like the nicest guy ever and being a great player.
Yeah, I really don't remember how that came about, but he was pretty awesome.
Do you guys remember doing a demo for this? I know you talk about, you would be prepared with pre-production going into the record, but was there a demo for this song? Because again, it's a pretty unorthodox arrangement.
We didn't do any demos for this album. We did some demos for some of these songs when we were recording Turn the Radio Off, like She's Famous Now.
Yeah.
I forget some of those, but this song hadn't been written yet. So no, we just went for it.
Right. Well, it's only unorthodox until I think about John's involvement. I mean, he was an Oingo Boingo, so this could get as weird as you want it.
Yeah. What's weird about the arrangement? It's like intro, verse, chorus, bridge, solo, chorus. It's like any AC/DC song.
Like any.
Kind of. I mean, we're going to get into it in a second. And I noticed watching the video that coda at the end never happens again. It just ends on the last chorus.
Oh yeah.
And I'm assuming that's how it went to radio too, with a radio edit, how they used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know. The video, they cut out the intro and outro thing.
Yeah, the man out of time, Elvis Costello beginning kind of thing.
The Rush spirit of radio.
Yeah.
Was this a song, and it was track 5 out of 16 on the record, so it's right there in the top of the record where you'd pick a single from, but was this song pretty much done going into the record? Had you played it live before you went and tracked the album?
I think we were doing a little pre-production and stuff, and we got these Disney World gigs that we were doing on the weekends for grad nights.
It was like us and the Backstreet Boys. Was that the Backstreet Boys one?
We did it 2 years in a row. 1 year was Britney Spears. The other year was Backstreet Boys and La Bouche.
I remember you guys doing that.
That was the only time we might have played them live, just a little bit to try them out, but right before we started recording.
I call those the pre-YouTube days when you could do that and not worry about like, oh, we changed the bridge and now that inferior version's out there forever. Didn't have that then. But I want to get into this sucker. The intro. We get this riffy, distorted guitar and a drum fill that takes us right into 8 bars of stereo guitars, drums, bass, and these horn stabs. The final hit of the band rings out for 1 bar, and then we get the guitar by itself panned off left for 4 bars. On the 3rd bar, we get this crazy synth panned off to the right. I love that. And ska bands can kind of do whatever they want. They can be wacky, and you guys hadn't really used anything like that up to this point. You had maybe some keyboards and whatnot, organ, but was that John's idea, or did you guys want that synth to come in there?
Did we rent that synth, or was that just in the studio?
That might have been in the studio.
I think it was called a Nord lead.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was one of the first Nord leads, yeah.
And I think it was just in the studio for some reason, and we were just messing around with it, and it made the coolest noises. So we're like, oh, where can we work this in? Like, here, how about right here? We used it a couple places on the record, but yeah, it was just, this keyboard was sitting around, so we just threw it in there because it thought it sounded cool.
I mean, you had, like, at that time, too, I feel like was when you had, like, Weezer was using a lot of
because it was Weezer-ish, so we're like, yeah, let's do that.
I hadn't heard the recording in so long. I've seen you guys play this song so many times over the last 20 years. And when it came in, I was like, whoa, I had forgotten about that thing.
Yeah.
It's something you don't miss live when 110 dB are roaring at you. But I just think it's really cool. And I didn't know if that was something, coming from Boingo, they would use something like that all over records.
Had we done Nothing Like a Dame at that point? Because when we did the song Nothing Like a Dame for the movie Welcome to Whoop Whoop, we got the opportunity to really use a lot of like synthesizers and weird stuff. So I think that also had an influence.
That's why, we use it. So we got to get this for the next record. Use it somewhere.
I love it. I think it's so cool. It does such a great lift there when the horns come in for the main hook.
It was definitely trying to rip off like the Rentals and Weezer, that kind of thing. That was the very first riff I ever wrote in my life. When I was taking guitar lessons when I was like 15 and a half, 1 week, my guitar teacher was like, okay, next week I need you to write a riff. Come in and write a riff for me. That's your homework.
The down.
No, the the Rush ripoff thing.
You wrote that, like that was one of your first riffs?
That's the first riff I ever wrote or ripped off, however you want to say it.
I always love guys that kind of, I don't know, you downplay yourself. You're kind of self-deprecating, Aaron, but you're a heck of a guitar player, man. And your riffs are so cool and fit the song. And I think that's awesome that you wrote that at such a young age.
Yeah, so I don't know why we put that at the beginning and the end of that song, because it really doesn't have anything to do with that.
It does do something though, because when that synth comes in, it launches with that, the drum fill, ba-da-da-da-da, and then we get 8 bars of stereo guitars, bass, drums, and the horns are now playing what I call the main melody hook. There's some great delay on the horns.
Tim Palmer loves delay.
It's awesome though. And I never noticed it before till I got in headphones and cranked this thing up and been listening to it. And
Also, they might have just not been playing together.
That's very possible.
yeah, well, and that was one of the questions. I'm glad you said something. This was tracked to tape, or did you use any Pro Tools with this?
We did.
We did the rhythm tracks to tape.
And then, well, we would do, because we had, what was that dude's name?
Which dude?
The guy who was sequestered in another room, like with a Pro Tools rig.
It was like halfway through we started doing the vocals and stuff. They got up Pro Tools and started putting everything in there and like editing it a little bit.
Yeah, but
like half and half.
And I'm not kidding, guys. I wonder if it's the same guy. There was only a handful of guys that were being called in to do editing in 1997, 98.
He was like this intern of John's because John has a studio at his house. And so he was this guy working with John there. And so this is when we were at Music Grinder?
Maybe.
Whatever the
Sound
second location was. I feel like we were multitasking on that at that point.
But if you're talking about delay on the guitars, I just totally could not play along with myself. So if you really listen, the guitar on the left and the guitar on the right are like not even playing the same thing half the time, especially when the distortion's going. So it makes this weird chorusy effect, which is kind of cool, but it's just me not being that good at guitar yet.
It is, sometimes when you get the stereo guitars sounding too much the same, they'll give you that sterile feeling. So I kind of like some push pull, but
it definitely made a chorusiness in the guitars. Oh, but that riff, the other riff in the beginning, and that was, I was trying to write a riff like "Where Did You Go" by the Bosstones.
Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go?
It was on the 97 Warped Tour, like they played that song a lot, and I was like, oh, that riff is so rad, I want to write something like that. So that kind of gave me the idea for that. And the horn line, Scott came up with. I'll let him tell that story.
For no apparent reason, I had the bridge to Electric Avenue stuck in my head. And so Aaron brings this thing back. And we're in the back of the bus, and I go, out in the street. And then I was like, out in the daytime. And I was like, wait a second. Okay. And I just kind of went, I mean, that's how I live my life, is stupid idea, then change it into something less stupid.
Oh, out in the street. Out in the street. Out in the daytime. Out in the night. Oh, we gonna ride.
But yeah, and it was like, and like,
from that.
and I think the tag at the end too was like just me being like, I don't know, and something like, and it was like,
it was like so much more horn shit going on, but Tim Palmer like just muted it out. We were so mad at first. It was like that
sounds very much like me. Yeah.
So like he cut out like a whole bunch of stuff. We're like, what the fuck? Where'd the horns go?
Interesting you say that, because later in the song, when that reintro comes back for the third time, there is another horn part, like a call and response happening.
Well, so yeah, there's a
more
part
than
where
that.
Dan, is it Dan? I think Dan and I,
Yeah.
there's this.
Right.
It kept going on
Yeah. Oh, did it?
after that.
That doesn't surprise me.
So that was my next question. Did you have fights with the label, producers, the mixers? Because all the time they were like, we're going to mute the horns here. We're not going to have this here. And, they step on the vocal and this and that. Or did you guys have carte blanche with your horns?
For the most part, Tim Palmer was like, he was just trying to make it sound the best it could and not take anything out. Mojo was kind of pushing on us like, hey, can we get a version of this album with no horns on it?
Ugh.
And since the last record was a gold record, we were able to go like, no, just trust us. We know what we're doing. And they were able to do that. But they did do a weird mix of Somebody Hates Me. One with no horns and then one with like a drum machine or something. It was the weirdest thing I ever heard.
Funky.
Like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's so funny about that time period is that the labels, there was no 360 deals. So they didn't get a cut of our ticket sales or our T-shirt sales or anybody that came through the building, right?
Yeah.
So like, you would have thought 2 + 2 = 4. They would have been able to figure out that, okay, Real Big Fish, like Less Than Jake, Boston, these guys are playing to 1,200 kids a night everywhere they go. Maybe they're doing something right with the horns, but they were trying to, and it wasn't just ska-punk. It was, how to go back and look at all the labels of what they've done to bands and how they've messed up records.
Trying to keep up with the times. Ska was on the way out, so they wanted to.
Yeah, after a year and a half.
Obviously, because here we are.
I guess it's not fair for me to not care, but I don't, and that's why you think I'm a great guy, but I want you.
I guess it's not fair for me to not care, but I don't, and that's why you think I'm a great guy.
Like I was saying, that was just kind of just random stuff. I don't really remember what I was going through, and I don't think it was about a certain situation. It was just, especially these songs, like, what the heck am I going to sing about? I don't know. Just one of those songs just kind of formed out of nonsense and just tried to make it into something
I've never asked you this, and this is actually
it sounds like it's about something for sure, but I don't think it is.
Do you feel like the success that we had and watching how things spread also kind of raised the stakes for because Turn the Radio Off is actually a pretty personal, intimate record.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you felt a certain amount of apprehension going, oh wow, now I know there's really people listening? I've always actually kind of wondered about that.
I don't know, maybe so.
Some sort of
I'm sure we felt a little bit of pressure just to come up with something that was...
And you know what? That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up, Scott, because we didn't have that pressure going into this record, Hello Rockview, because we didn't have a hit on Losing Streak and Sellout. I mean, I never thought about that with you guys. There had to have been, even if it wasn't external pressure from the labels and the managers, there had to be something internal of wow, we got to follow that up.
Yeah, definitely.
But just to be realized going there's something about being vulnerable and open and personal when you're playing in front of, we started in front of 30 of our closest friends. And then the next thing, even when you get to a couple hundred, you still when you start talking about thousands in every town you go to across the country, then you're talking about being really open and vulnerable. And I don't know, it can be daunting, I think. And that was always a question that would pop into my mind, is it's that shift in how you approach vulnerability when the stakes change.
A lot of times, when you're sitting down to write something, and maybe you'll remember, maybe you won't, Aaron, but a lot of times words just come on a demo and then you can't best them later. It's okay, well, that's the lyric.
There was a lot of that in this song for sure. It's I just kind of started singing sounds and they turned into words and I guess that works. Yeah, that'll work.
The verses feel that way to me in this song. It was kind of like your first stab at what the idea was. And sometimes that's all it needs to be. We get harmonies on But I Don't, and that's why you think I'm a great guy, as well as the stereo guitars and bass are playing a staccato figure. Jun, 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 jun. And that's in the first half of the verse until the back half of verse 1, where the guitars get a bit more playful. We get some chicka chicka noise. And on that last line, a great guy, we get this cool little bass run there. Yeah. And Matt Wong at the time was the bassist on the record. Was that something Matt came up with or something John being a bass player? It's an interesting little run.
I think that was all Matt Wong. He just gets really bored, and he's just these songs are so boring and stupid. I gotta...
Okay.
He always hated this music so much, and he was just, I gotta waste time. No, I don't know.
Okay, I thought you were being serious because, I love Matt to death, but he would just kind of sit back by the amps and just kind of do his thing. He wasn't, alpha front person or anything like that. So that bass part just didn't seem like it came from Matt. I don't know why. Not that he's not capable of playing something like that, but interesting little run there. And
he would always come up with the most interesting, weird things that you would never expect. But I think he really liked this song a lot, so he was just going for it because he was just feeling it.
It's such a cool run.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple little notes and doesn't feel like it should be in a pop song. It's really cool, and I love what that does. It just perks up my ear there before we get into chorus one. No pre-chorus in this song. You don't need one.
But I want you, and you want me to, and you need this. Wanna give it to you, and I thought it's time I said something new.
But I want you, and you want me too, and you need this. Want to give it to you. And I thought this time I'd say something new. We get a great three-part vocals on this chorus. There's harmonies, and then we get Scott's falsetto, which is just up an octave at times from the main vocal. How did you guys decide your harmonies?
That's my falsetto.
That's your falsetto?
Yeah. I think you're singing the low harmony for one time. You
Yeah.
usually sing up higher.
Yeah, Aaron's in the falsetto. I'm in the lower. We just decided to do it that way. It actually, I mean, like, there were times where
we were doing the falsetto.
we would flip things and it just sounded right that way.
Wow.
Are we singing a falsetto there because me and Matt Wong were obsessed with that Tal Bachman song? She's so high. She's so high.
Oh, yeah.
High above me. She's so lovely. Oh, let's do something like that.
'Cause she's so high above me. She's so lovely. She's so high.
Wow. I had no idea. I thought for sure you were the high voice there, Scott.
I
You
can
know,
sing high too, man.
Yeah. No, I'm doing that. I'm doing the stable part. That and I want you and you want me too and you need this one to give it to you. And then it does flip.
Okay.
Because when I showed it to him, he's like, wait, what? You're singing really high already. That's what I do. Oh, I guess you go sing low and monotone like I usually do.
That is so awesome. I mean, I could never do the falsetto thing. I could like do falsetto buried harmony stuff, like very buried, but nothing out front. I don't have any power in falsetto.
I'm a big U2 fan. That's why I sang along with Bono a lot.
Nah, this the falsetto there is really cool. In chorus one, the drums, bass, and a distorted guitar panned off left, and we get this Beatle-esque arpeggiated figure on, I believe that's another guitar panned off right, or is that a Celesta?
That's a guitar.
That's a guitar. Okay, because I noticed a Celesta. I didn't even know what a Celesta was. I had to look it up earlier.
We do have Celesta on the record.
You do.
Yes, because you guys are both credited with playing Celesta on the record. So I didn't know exactly because it's it's like a chorus flanger effect on that guitar. And
Yeah.
whose idea was that? It's very different for what all of our bands were doing at that time.
Well, I think the effects on are another Tim Palmer thing. He made it sound really, it was probably just like a little guitar picking thing that I threw in there, thought it sounded cool, and then he put effects all over it. And yeah, I don't know.
It's awesome because it takes your ear somewhere else. I mean, you could have done a stereo image of what the guitar chords that were being played on the left, but I think it's really cool. And at the time, I never really thought of it, but
Yeah.
it's a cool layer. And like ska-punk bands, we weren't really doing that at that time.
We were really, really trying to overdo it on this record and just throw everything in the kitchen sink. We did the same mistake that all bands do on their second record, and when they're like, "Oh, this is our Sgt. Pepper's, man. We gotta really get
We can
creative.
do whatever
and
the
show
fuck we want.
how amazing we are."
I never got that vibe from this record or this song necessarily. Yeah, it was a step up in production, but I think in our heads we think it's way worse. Or like, how are our fans going to perceive this? But I think everything that's here is killer. We're also joined by a tambourine playing 16th notes to really keep this chorus moving along. And then, is that you, Scott, saying, "All right, yeah"?
Very possible. There's a lot of
That's me again.
that's probably you. There are
Is that
times
you?
where I say dumb shit and Aaron leaves it in or they take it out. You never know.
I was fooled again. That was Aaron saying "all right, yeah" to launch the 8-bar re-intro of that main horn hook with the stereo guitars, bass, and drums. So that's the second time.
Out in the street.
Yeah, waking up today, I didn't think it was in the cards. I'd be talking about Eddie Grant.
Oh yeah, good old Eddie Grant.
Paul Bachman.
Yeah, Tal Bachman, Eddie Grant. Who knew?
Somebody hates me. Somebody hates me.
Hey everybody, don't go anywhere. We got lots more coming up with Scott and Aaron after a few words from our sponsors. Do you like music, learning about good music, and laughing at bad music? Well, I have the show for you. I'm Chris DeMakes, a podcast producer, Chris Fafalius, and my One Hit Thunder co-host Matt Kelly and I are 300 plus episodes deep into revisiting one-hit wonders to decide if they deserve a second listen or should stay safely buried in your memory. We give every artist a fair shot, roast them when necessary, and when a band or artist is actually really good, we officially certify them Thunder, and maybe someday we'll even get around to sending out those notarized certificates. Basically, it's an incredibly fun music podcast, so smash that subscribe button on One Hit Thunder wherever you get your pods.
August is the perfect time to hit the reset button before the fall begins. And I can't think of a better place to start than my closet. That's why I love shopping at Quince. Quince is all about fewer, better pieces of clothing. They're made with premium materials that are built to last, and they're designed to be what you reach for every day when you're getting dressed.
From their ultra-soft cotton tees to their premium Mongolian cashmere sweaters, Quince specializes in everyday staples that are versatile, timeless, and transition seamlessly from the casual workday to going out to dinner.
And to top it off, everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. And they work directly with ethical factories and cut out the middleman, so you're paying for high quality, not brand markup.
Chris and I both agree that the 100% European linen short sleeve shirts are awesome.
They fit nice, feel good, and it's seriously just a great piece of clothing.
I think it's extra cool that Quince is a sponsor of Chris DeMakes a Podcast because I was already shopping at Quince before they were.
So if you're ready to upgrade your everyday, you can go to quince.com/DeMakes for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
And don't forget to download the Quince app for app-exclusive offers, too.
Now available in Canada and the UK, too. QUINCE.com/DeMakes for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DeMakes. Here at Chris DeMakes a Podcast, we're proud to call DistroKid a sponsor. And if you're a band or artist looking to release your music, you can head to distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes to get 30% off your first year with DistroKid. Getting your music out on all the places people stream music, like Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube Music, and Amazon Music, is just the tip of the iceberg as far as what you can do with DistroKid. Get pre-saves with Hyperfollow. Pay your collaborators with splits. Stop music thieves from stealing your music and uploading it to streaming services without your permission with DistroLock. Make a mini video to use on your socials. Create Spotify canvases for your songs. Easily withdraw your earnings. Even use great built-in tools like Mixia and Instant Share to mix and collaborate. I could go on and on about all the benefits of releasing your music through DistroKid, but why not go see for yourself and save 30% on your first year at the same time? And support a sponsor of your favorite podcast. Head to distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes to learn everything you need to know about DistroKid. That's distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. It's home of ShopPay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/income.
Now at Lowe's, faster quotes start at the Lowe's Pro Desk. Got a material list handwritten on a sticky note or saved as a photo? Perfect. Bring it to us and get a quote in minutes. And if you don't see what you need on the shelf, we'll help you get it. You can access thousands of products beyond what's available in-store or on Lowes.com, right from the Lowe's Pro Desk. Build quotes faster and source the materials you need to keep your jobs moving. Just like that, at Lowe's.
Hey, Washington, D.C., class it up with Crocs. You know back to school is coming in fast. So why wait to find your new fave footwear? Step into a local Crocs store and step into your new look. Try it, style it, make it yours. Because the right pair doesn't just show up, it shows off. First day fits, handled. Walk out ready for whatever's next. Visit your nearest Crocs store today.
I get so many headaches every month.
It could be chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those who have 14 or fewer headache days a month. Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor. Visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
And now, back to the show.
After that 8-bar reintro, we get into verse 2. It's the same overall instrumentation between the stereo guitars, bass, and drums here. And then the back half, we get some horns, and we'll talk about that in a second. But verse 2.
Call you, I swear. So next time, be there. Can't keep up no more. Should quit, but one more. 'Cause I want you.
I'll call you, I swear. So next time, be there. Can't keep up no more. Should quit, but what for? So next time, be there. You got to be by the phone because not many people had cell phones in 1998.
Be there when I call for the booty call, babe.
Right.
I really never thought about it until recently. We're doing this podcast, so I got to listen to this and figure out what this song's about. And I really never meant it to be about anything. It was just, like you said, it was just random lyrics that sounded good. And I guess those are the words. But let's talk about that little horn part that comes in because that is so cool. That's my favorite part of the song.
On the first half, when you say be there, the horn comes back in there, and it's just this. I wrote that it's some really classy parts. You know, it's not run-of-the-mill horn parts.
That might be Tavis.
Really?
They sound more
maybe
Tavis than me.
Or Dan.
Yeah, or Dan.
Tavis and Dan.
I've been told that the way that, and this was something that was brought to my attention from a friend a little while ago, is oftentimes the way that I approach horn lines is that they sound like guitar parts.
Okay.
And I try to make my guitar parts like horn lines. So
Now, see, that's interesting. And I think that Roger writes horn parts on guitar. I've always written horn parts with my mouth. I hum it like it's a vocal harmony, you know, and that's how I put down ideas if I have horn ideas for the guys.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't play horn. So someone that's a horn player that can also articulate notes on a guitar as you can, Scott, as well as sing great. What's your go-to in writing a horn part? Is it picking up the horn or is it the guitar?
I mean, most of the time it is just kind of humming it, singing it.
Yeah,
It's I do a lot of like, it has to feel, there has to be a movement. Like I want to move to it.
Mm-hmm.
Every tiny time I write it, it's got to be like, there's got to be this kind of or something that makes me want to like move around while it's being done, or else it just kind of feels like it doesn't have a life to it.
Has someone else ever written a guitar part? This happens a lot with us. A horn part on guitar, and then you try to translate it to the horn players, and like, dude, this is almost impossible to try to play this. You know, it can't be played on horn, or if it can be played on horn, it has to be modified.
I like that challenge. I
don't think I've ever come up with anything that you guys are like, we can't play that.
Yeah.
You don't like the keys that I come up with sometimes?
Sometimes.
Like, oh, it's so hard to play in this key, man.
That's a thought thing. Like, yeah. I guess because I don't think about notes and keys and stuff is always last for me. So like, it's all like, what's the difference in 3 buttons? You know what I mean? Like in a certain order, it's all pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, I mean, our whole thing was, it's like, we want people to move and dance and have a good time. So it's like, if I'm not moving and dancing while I'm thinking about it, I mean, like,
this doesn't get me excited when I play it.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
how is it going to get anyone else excited?
Well, James Brown, there's stories about James Brown from Fred Wesley. You know, he would be like, James would be like, you know, and they'd be like, okay, you know, have to do it. And it's like, there's something really brilliant in that, where you want something sort of bombastic and like, yeah, very physical if you're trying to get the crowd to move.
Huh.
If you want them to like chill out and, you know, sit and sway, then you write, you know, Tower of Power.
I heard that song live recently.
Oh, so good. But that's where the whole crowd's doing this. And that's what it sounds like. So it's, you know, if you want people to jump up and down.
Did John have a lot of input with your horn parts? Did he have suggestions? Did he, you know, say this should be a little more busy here, or we should tame this part down, or maybe there shouldn't be horns here?
I think with John, it was more like he was just cheering us on, just like being like, yeah, go for it, guys, do it. He didn't change a lot of stuff.
He every now and again would be like,
but he would have suggestions like,
yeah, what if there was something here?
Yeah.
That's all he would really say.
Yeah.
What if there was something here? And we'd be like, oh, I guess we didn't think about that. He
wasn't the kind of producer that just like totally deconstructed something like, why don't you move this over there and change that there, take that out completely. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't do that kind of thing.
I did the math. John was like 42 when he was recording this record. So he was an older guy to you guys. And I respect that he let you guys be kids in a sense.
He's also in Oingo Boingo, and they have the weirdest songs ever. So
yeah, but I think he
got what we were going for most of the time.
John was very much, I always felt like he wanted to teach us also. He didn't want to like keep the secrets. He was like, he saw the potential that we wanted to grow as well, especially with this record. And he was like, okay, so he's like, so here you have the second verse. Here's a section here that you didn't have anything. Here's an opportunity to kind of lift it a little more intensity-wise. What would you guys put here?
Which is probably where that little horn riff in the second verse came from.
Oh, it's awesome. We get harmonies on the back half of verse 2. Can't keep up, no more, should quit, but what for? And on the line Be There that I mentioned a little bit ago, we get the horn coming in there with some really classy parts. After No More, another horn figure happens. And then we get a big horn holdout on What For, the last line to launch chorus 2.
'Cause I want you, and you want me to, and you need this, wanna give it to you, and I thought this time I'd get something new. It's not cool.
And chorus 2 is the same overall instrumentation and placement as chorus 1, but this one starts with 'Cause I Want You instead of But I Want You. Was that discussed, or is that just the way you sang it when you got up to the mic that time, Aaron?
I really don't know, but every chorus has like a different, especially a different line at the end. And we can never remember how it's like, be someone new, say something true. Like, everyone's different. Every time we always talk about it. We should write that down. We should learn this.
There's always the super fan from Pasadena that lets you know, hey, Aaron, you messed up the chorus 1 and chorus 2, you know, and you're like,
We usually just go, and I thought this time was something.
Do you know?
That's what we usually sing there.
You know how many times I do that in a show?
I was going to talk to you about that. What, you need to sit down with the lyrics, man, because you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Just kidding.
Yeah, no.
I've never noticed that.
No, I I've had fans come up and they'll say that. And there's times when I'm up there going, what is the next lyric? I've sang this song how many times? And like, I don't know, my brain's thinking of, I forgot to, call my kid's teacher that day or something.
We've definitely been there.
Yeah. Well, then you start to realize, like, I think there were those bands that when they first started having like teleprompters, and you're like, oh, what a bunch of jerks. And then you're like, now we're like, I wildly get that.
You're writing your 300th song. Like, wow, maybe I do need a teleprompter.
Yeah, especially now as the years are going by. Certainly, we didn't think about years going by in 1998 because not many went by.
Too old. We have too many songs.
Too many hits.
Well, chorus 2, come right out of that. We go into the bridge, and the bridge is cool because It's Not Cruel is actually still in the chorus 2 progression, the first lyric, and then we settle in to the bridge. Drums, bass, stereo guitars, and 16th note tambourine are all here on the bridge.
It's not cruel. I do like you, and I want you to feel that I
It's not cruel. I do like you, and I want you to feel that I do. La da, ba da, ba-ah-ha, and then wow. Talk to me about that part.
Can you read that last part again?
Yeah, I'd love to read that last part.
How does that go?
Do, la da, ba da, ba-ah. Ha, wow.
That's the ancient Babylonian language.
We used to call it, like you're scatting the lyrics out, or the old vaudeville singers and whatnot of that era. Was that ad-lib? Did you guys work that out? It's awesome.
That bridge and the bridge for Somebody Hates Me were like, could not think of any lyrics, vocal parts, or anything for so long. I remember it was like the very last day, like, okay, we got to put something here, guys. The song's done. And it was one of those things.
I love this part.
But the guitar part is like, it's kind of grungy sounding to me, like Nirvana or... It always reminded me of like that earlier 90s grunge in that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bet Scott had something to do with the bada bada doo doo.
It's very possible.
That seems like
a little random.
Come up with.
Again, I love what you've done with the harmonies here. The note choices that you guys have made. I always loved your harmonies, but actually sitting down in headphones and just dissecting what you did here. And
I usually just sing one note over and over again, and he makes it all pretty.
And I guarantee you, this is the simplified version of what I wanted.
Oh yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, in my mind, it was like do, and I had these. Like these like other moving parts that came in and did this whole like.
I bet there was so much more recorded for that,
and there was like, I think these
Tim Palmer was like, let's just take this part and it'll make more sense.
Yeah, I've had mixers do that, and it is jarring at first when you get a mix back. Like, wait, where'd this part go? Where'd that part go? And
not how it goes.
And I've had producers or mixers be like, yeah, we decided to take that out. It was stepping on the vocal, or it was doing something to the other rhythmic part.
I mean, I feel like too at that time we kind of had an idea, like it was the idea of it's like throw everything at it that we can, and we can you can always take things out. You can't after a certain point you're done put things in and still have it be cost effective, because that was something we had to think about.
Oh, I remember there was more to the guitar riff too. It was like there was all these little things in between that got taken out too.
So actually,
half
this
the song
at
that you're
first,
hearing isn't really there.
At first, the song actually was just a noise song. It just sounded like.
I love it. Well, on the last, the ba-ah-ahs, before we get to that, wow, the horns, they're like bum, bum, bum. It's like this staccato, they're playing like these staccato notes. It's pushed really back in the mix, but it's such a great layer. And I was wondering why it was pushed back in the mix. And I think I know after listening to this a bunch, because the reintro comes back in, the main hook, and those horns have to sound powerful. And I never thought about little mixing tricks like that. If you had those stabs super loud, now the power of those horns don't hit you as hard. Do you remember talking about that or saying, I want those stabs to be louder because those stabs are so cool?
That was probably Tim Palmer again, being smart. We probably would have put them as loud as possible if it was just up to us. Like, oh yeah.
Well, and it's you have that also that like cut time because it's those are when they come up. It's like I think we probably had this idea of like more of a consistent sound of it, and then when we heard it, we were like, "Oh, that's probably makes it sound much smarter."
All done on purpose.
All on purpose. We'll show you the sheet music later.
Yes,
that we sat down with and meticulously.
Well, after the bridge, you could have skipped the reintro. You could have went straight to the guitar solo. Getting that intro again for a third time, I love it. I think it's awesome. But do you recall the arrangement taking any turns here, or was it just like this reintro into the solo?
I don't know. It just
seemed like the right thing to do. Yeah,
it felt right. Okay,
a breakdown with the head again.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
that is weird that it's right there, huh?
Yeah,
because I think nowadays if we wrote that song, it probably would have gone right into the solo.
Sometimes when I use the word weird, it's for lack of, I have nothing better to say. I've deconstructed a lot of songs the past 6 years doing this. And I only say weird when sometimes it's like, well, yeah, you could have skipped this part and went to the next one. That's really all I mean by it. But,
right.
And then you start asking guys and you're like, well, I recorded this almost 30 years ago. I don't remember.
We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so good.
And we'll just say everything was based on sacred geometry.
Okay. That's what we're going with. Well,
the law of threes.
We get an 8-bar reintro. The first half is just kick drum. This is the 80s. Put your fists in the air, like, anthem part. And the horns are playing the main guitar hook along with another horn figure. That's that horn part I was telling, we were talking about earlier to kind of. So you're saying, Scott, though, that's a simplified version of what you think you guys had at first.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see in that third time around, that breakdown, that being us probably simplifying it there anyway.
Yeah.
Because that we were like, anytime you had a breakdown, it was more about the simplification and the punch, like make it hit harder.
On the back half, as those horns are still going, we get the jing, jing, the big hits from the stereo guitars and the bass, along with the drums. That all comes in on the second half, as does the crazy synth. The crazy synth comes back. You guys had to bring it back.
Oh, sure. We had it in the studio. We had to bring it back.
What a better, I can't think of a better time than to come in right here. And the guitar solo. And this is interesting. It actually starts on the last 2 bars of the reintro. You're already noodling around with that.
Oh, yeah.
And then, let's talk about that a little bit. That's a little different.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it?
Did you want it to come in there? Or did John suggest that? I wouldn't have thought of that in 1998.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Do you feel like that was maybe like... I feel like Cece would have done stuff like that.
Doing the octave bend thing, whatever you call it.
Yeah, but I think or
not octaves.
It also seems a little bit like a kind of a CC
I was doing some
sort
stuff
of thing.
already with the
Well, and I have to ask you, and you may not remember, you may have just played it like that, but Tim Palmer seems like the kind of mixer that, you know what, maybe on another take you had a guitar solo that he's like, you know what, I want to start the guitar solo on the last 2 bars of this reintro, and maybe he flew it in there, but you think you played it like that?
I probably played it like that.
Yeah.
guitar solo. This is over the main hook chord progression. It's still going from the intro. Stereo guitars, bass, and drums. No tambourine here.
A tambourine was stepping on my solo, man.
Right?
It certainly was. There's a 2-bar build up at the end here, and we get some yeahs with harmonies before we drop into chorus 3. Chorus 3 is a double chorus, and again, you started this one off with, well, I want you. Not but, not cause I want you. Well.
What? Because, well.
You know, back in the day when we did everything analog and you'd do takes and, you know, the mixer would get stuff and sometimes he would fly things in. I've had guys artists on the show say, yeah, I don't know. I don't, you know, I might have sang it like that once by accident, but it somehow ended up in the final mix. And I love little things like that.
Yeah, maybe. I remember you were concerned about that happening, like pasting another chorus on or something, and you wanted it to be, each one to be unique. So I think maybe we went for it on that song. It's like, you know what? We have to change the lyrics on every chorus so they can't just paste it on again.
It's a very me idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I want you, and you want me too, and you need this. Wanna give it to you, and I thought this time I'd be someone true. Yeah, I want you, and you want me too, and you need this. Wanna give it to you, and I thought this time I'd say something new.
Well, we get another lyrical change. Harmonies on everything here again on the last line of this double chorus on the first half. And I thought this time I'd be someone true. So it changes there. That was because you wanted to get a little something extra in there to change it up, or do you recall that how that lyric came about?
Worked with the scheme.
It worked with the scheme. That should be your next album title. Just it worked with the scheme.
I just, you know,
Rhythmically, you know.
Okay. Well, in between, we get these big chickas, I'm calling them, on the guitar before we get into the back half of chorus 3, which I love what you guys did here with the vocals. That's
Huey Lewis comes out.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, I want you and you want me to, and you need this. Want to give it to you. And I thought this time I'd say something new. Aaron, you're going up there an octave. You're pushing that part. And then we get the new backing vocals panned off left and right, and harmonies are here on the back half to change things up.
Oh, that part's actually me.
That's you doing the high part.
Yeah. Which was interesting because I remember when the idea came up and I was like, I don't sing lead. I'm like, I don't know
How did that happen?
I don't know. And I can tell you this, I was legitimately terrified. I love being a backing vocalist. I love support. I love it. And then I think it was probably John who was just like, you know what's good? Sing it here. Sing something kind of a little more acrobatic and things. I was like, do what now? But terrified. I still listen to it and go like, yeah. Did they do it? I still don't know if I did it. Like, did it well.
I think you did, because I finally realized that was you. Probably yesterday listening to this for the 50th time. And wait a second, I don't think that's Aaron. I think it's Scott that goes up there. But after you say, I thought this time I'd say something new, it kind of decays and we get this 4 count on the hi-hat. And then that drum fill from the very top of the song repeats itself twice here to take us into a 10-bar outro, followed by what I'm calling the coda on this song, which is that arpeggiated Beatles-esque guitar and some interspersed horns, and that guitar is just swirling left and right at the end there. I love this ending because it kind of just brings the whole thing down. I don't know. It makes me want to press rewind and hear the whole thing again. It's cool how it kind of, I don't know. It's like it pops the balloon in an essence.
Yeah, that's a weird ending.
Well, yeah.
Where do we go from here?
We had on this record, I feel like we had so many songs that ended with these long, like interesting outros.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still like if I get the urge to listen to the record, I go like, oh, that. And I actually really, I like the contrast of them. They give you a moment to like kind of catch your breath before we go into the next bombastic like piece of musical expression.
Well, that's weird. Yeah.
What'd you guys think of this coming through the studio speakers when you heard the mix back? Like, were you stoked? Was it like, this is definitely the first single? Where did it sit with the rest of the tracks on the album?
It was crazy when we were mixing that song. The mixing board he used, it was like 1,000 feet long, and the speakers were like at either end of this 100-foot room. It was so, and he was so loud. He mixed so loud back then. So it was pretty like, whoa! It was an experience.
We're now almost 30 years removed from you guys recording it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this song now? I mean, you guys are my friends, but I love this song. I think it's top 5 Real Big Fish songs. It's just catchy from the get-go. I loved it the first time I heard it, but I think I love it more now.
Yeah, it's just a weird, I don't know. I love Led Zeppelin. I love guitar riffs, so that came out a lot on this record. We were listening to the Jellyfish a lot. So we did a lot of harmonies and a lot of weird intricacies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You were channeling Eddie Grant.
Yeah, like I said, I was joking around, but we were like really trying to just do everything we ever wanted to do on this record because we had the chance to.
Yeah.
We had a pretty big budget. We had a lot of time to mess around.
So much Thai iced coffee.
And yeah, so let's see what we can.
Before we break, you guys are busy. You got a bunch of stuff coming up. We're doing some Warped Tour shows.
Yeah.
And what else is happening the rest of the year for Real Big Fish?
That is.
So we got to practice.
We got to practice
eventually.
Not got the entire band together yet. Everybody's very busy, but we got to do that before Warped Tour.
Hopefully,
July 25th. Yeah. And then we have a show with 311 and Sublime and Slightly Stupid in Denver area
in August.
And then
August 6th?
Yeah, something like that.
It's 6th or 7th.
And then we have Warped Tour in Orlando.
I'm not trying to jinx you, Aaron, but after a year and a half of the pandemic, walking out of that curtain, and we played some weird show in the middle of Pennsylvania, and I walked out and I was like, it wasn't like riding a bike. It was like, I loved every second of it, but it was weird. Like it was almost like the first show I ever played again. I was in my head, like I didn't really know how to move. Should I bang my head at this part? And have you thought about that? Like, do you have a jitters at all? It's been a minute since you've been on a stage.
I'm pretty sure it's all going to come back.
We'll see.
We did get together with some of us a couple weeks ago and played a couple songs, and it was just like, it's the only thing I know how to do.
Right.
So I think I'll finally feel at home.
Is that the video I saw with Dave Irish on drums?
Yeah. That's the one song that he knows and that he'll play. He gets really shy about playing with us.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. I can't do it. Yeah. I know he knows more songs than can do it, but
I think the thing that I for myself especially, it's like doing a lot of like yoga, strength, core training, just because the physicality of it is the part that it's like, I don't want to set foot out there and my like knee buckle and like, pull a hamstring or whatever. So there's a lot of yoga, a lot of like drinking of electrolytes,
yes,
cardio, that kind of thing. But
I'm going to play sitting down.
Yeah.
So I don't hurt myself.
We're getting him a throne.
They're going to wheel me out.
A prominent chair.
Yeah. There used to be whiskey on the rider. Now it's electrolytes. How times have changed. Well, guys, listen, I am of the full belief that the world is a better place with Real Big Fish in it. Scott, I'm stoked that you're playing with the guys again. And I love you both. And I wish you nothing but the best. And I can't wait to hang out with you again.
Oh, yeah.
And it may sound real good, but I don't think we're getting through because the kids don't like it. No, the kids don't like it. No, the kids don't like it. No, they don't like it at all.
Man, I love Real Big Fish. I love Aaron and Scott. And I also love that when we were finished, they told us, hey, your show is the only show where we actually answer the questions. So I feel really honored and flattered that they do. And I thought that episode was great. I can't wait to talk to Chris about it in the rap segment that's coming up. We also got the band you might not know that's coming right up after a few words from our sponsors.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/income.
August is the perfect time to hit the reset button before the fall begins. And I can't think of a better place to start than my closet. That's why I love shopping at Quince. Quince is all about fewer, better pieces of clothing. They're made with premium materials that are built to last, and they're designed to be what you reach for every day when you're getting dressed.
From their ultra-soft cotton tees to their premium Mongolian cashmere sweaters, Quince specializes in everyday staples that are versatile, timeless, and transition seamlessly from the casual workday to going out to dinner.
And to top it off, everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. And they work directly with ethical factories and cut out the middleman, so you're paying for high quality, not brand markup.
Chris and I both agree that the 100% European linen short sleeve shirts are awesome.
They fit nice, feel good, and it's seriously just a great piece of clothing.
I think it's extra cool that Quince is a sponsor of Chris DeMakes a Podcast because I was already shopping at Quince before they were.
So if you're ready to upgrade your everyday, you can go to quince.com/DeMakes for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
And don't forget to download the Quince app for app-exclusive offers, too.
Now available in Canada and the UK, too. QUINCE.com/DeMakes for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DeMakes. Here at Chris DeMakes a Podcast, we're proud to call DistroKid a sponsor. And if you're a band or artist looking to release your music, you can head to distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes to get 30% off your first year with DistroKid. Getting your music out on all the places people stream music, like Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube Music, and Amazon Music, is just the tip of the iceberg as far as what you can do with DistroKid. Get pre-saves with Hyperfollow. Pay your collaborators with splits. Stop music thieves from stealing your music and uploading it to streaming services without your permission with DistroLock. Make a mini video to use on your socials. Create Spotify canvases for your songs. Easily withdraw your earnings. Even use great built-in tools like Mixia and Instant Share to mix and collaborate. I could go on and on about all the benefits of releasing your music through DistroKid, but why not go see for yourself and save 30% on your first year at the same time? And support a sponsor of your favorite podcast. Head to distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes to learn everything you need to know about DistroKid. That's distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes.
Now at Lowe's, faster quotes start at the Lowe's Pro Desk. Got a material list handwritten on a sticky note or saved as a photo? Perfect. Bring it to us and get a quote in minutes. And if you don't see what you need on the shelf, we'll help you get it. You can access thousands of products beyond what's available in-store or on Lowe's.com, right from the Lowe's Pro Desk. Build quotes faster and source the materials you need to keep your jobs moving. Just like that, at Lowe's.
Hey, Washington, D.C., class it up with Crocs. You know back to school is coming in fast. So why wait to find your new fave footwear? Step into a local Crocs store and step into your new look. Try it, style it, Make it yours. Because the right pair doesn't just show up, it shows off. First day fits, handled. Walk out ready for whatever's next. Visit your nearest Crocs store today.
I get so many headaches every month.
It could be chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those who have 14 or fewer headache days a month. Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor. Visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
As we near the end of the show, here's a band you might not know.
Welcome to this week's Band You Might Not Know. If you'd like your band to be considered for Chris DeMakes a Podcast, email your best song via MP3 only and a short bio to bandyoumightnotknow@gmail.com. This week's feature artist is Lady Lazarus, a Sydney-born, Berlin-based punk band featuring Caroline on vocals, Izzy on bass, Jules on drums, and Gary on guitar. You can find them online at all the usual hotspots. Here's a snippet of their song, Party.
Let's go halvesies on a bag. I've got 2 tickets to Black Flag. Let's leave it all out on the pit. I'm so sick of this that old shit. Hey babe, do you wanna come? I really need some help to come. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great. No, not today, man, I just wanna party. I just wanna party.
The Wrap with Chris and Chris.
Chris, you know, it's funny, as the producer of this show, probably about 10 to 15% of the time when it comes to song selection, I selfishly choose whatever my personal favorite song is from the band. And this week was an example. Like, we already did episodes about Sellout and Beer, and when it came to doing a third Real Big Fish song, I was like, we got to do the setup. It's my all-time favorite Real Big Fish song.
Yeah, I didn't even get a choice with this. It was just like, hey, I got Aaron and Scott, and they are dialed in, and I'm like, okay, cool. And we're doing this song. I love this song. Yeah. I know it's one of your favorites, too.
Oh, it is my favorite Real Big Fish song. And I love the story behind it, because this is what naturally came to him. He can't really remember, like, was this about something? And it's funny, man. I talk about this all the time where, okay, I'm a melody guy. I admit it. I love good lyrics, but I am more of a melody guy. It doesn't bother me that it's not super clear what this song's about. It just makes me feel something through the melodies and the way the song sounds. It brings up my spirits or something. There's just something really magical about this song to me.
Yeah, well, and the 90s were an interesting time, as we all know, a weird time for song titles. Less Than Jake was famous for it, okay? Our song titles, you know, The Science of Selling Yourself Short. Great example. All My Best Friends Are Metalheads. It never says that in the song. But Real Big Fish was, you know, kind of hit you over the head. Sellout. Beer, okay? But this one, that's why I went right in with, what does the title mean? The setup. You need this.
I never thought about the title of this song. And then when you brought it up, I'm like, I never thought about it. But did they get at the fact that, I know, like, in record label lingo or whatever, like, the setup was what they would call that, like, the song that you would release maybe first before the song you thought was the hit. Am I right about that?
Well, it could be that, but, you know, the setup for the single, it was like, you know, we need 6 weeks. First, we're going to go to college radio and get it kind of moving at college, and then we're going to go to a couple A markets or B markets, smaller A markets, and then from there we'll push it up to the big boys.
Gotcha. Okay, now I understand. I don't know this major label stuff. I don't have experience with this major label stuff. Dude, it's so funny, too, that Scott said we played in a band because we didn't want to work, but then look at how much more work I believe you end up doing. If you're a full-time touring band, I believe in my heart that you end up doing more work than you would at like a regular job.
Yeah, it's crazy. The time, there's an old saying you've heard it. It's like we get paid for the 22.5, 23 hours we sit around. The hour on stage you don't get paid for when you go on the road. And it's so true. And that's why you see so many guys like or people that are out on the road get into destructive behaviors if they can't bide their time well. And Scott was joking at the end of the episode about how, you got to, he's kind of working on his core and kind of staying in shape to be able to get back on stage again, file under things you didn't think about when you were 25.
Absolutely. It's so funny too that I guess I remember this from the era, but I probably haven't thought about it since. The fact that Real Big Fish was doing shows with like Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears back in this era. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, and the thing about Real Big Fish was they were, a little easier to swallow, especially back then. Less Than Jake, Goldfinger, there might have been an F-bomb here or there with Real Big Fish, but they were, a little more what I would call, you could bring the family and it wouldn't be as offensive as Less Than Jake back then. And, they were getting those Disney shows with Britney Spears, which is cool.
Yeah. And I also was thinking about, you brought up the synthesizer in this song, but it's amazing the influence that Weezer had in that era and still has today. So many bands cite Weezer as an influence, and Weezer bringing that Moog sound and those synth sounds that you associate with like early Weezer. It's just so funny, like how influential they've been on everyone.
Yeah. And, we also had that, kind of, what do you want to call it? Like faux 60s resurgence in the 90s, how decades come back. And, there was different sounds and synthesizers and organs that maybe weren't happening in the 80s that were happening, and kind of anything goes.
It's also pretty amazing that Aaron incorporated the first riff he ever wrote into this song.
Yeah, that kind of blew my mind. I wasn't writing anything like that with a guitar instructor on my first visit. And he's one of those guys too that really, by all accounts, he shouldn't have been the front man in a band. He's just so unassuming, and he definitely doesn't give himself enough credit for how good he is as a guitar player.
Yeah. Very self-deprecating, and I find that charming in an artist. I'd much rather someone who's really good be self-deprecating and kind of like joke about it, than someone who's like super cocky about what they do or whatever. And, that's the way these guys have always been. And I knew it about Scott because Scott came on One Hit Thunder before to do an episode. One of the episodes he came on for was Jellyfish. And I knew that they were an influence, but it's so impressive to me, the different wild influences. You never know what you're going to get with these guys. Jellyfish is an influence. Tal Bachman, She's So High is an influence. Eddie Grant, Electric Avenue is an influence here. Like, you just never know what you're going to get with these guys. It's never what you'd expect.
No, and, you have this thing in your head, especially when, you're a younger band, that if you're out with bands of your ilk, it's like, oh, we all listen to ska-punk. And then, you start peeling back the layers here and get a few beers cracked. Now, all of a sudden, you're, listening to Steely Dan and whatever else. You're like, how did this happen? So, punk and ska musicians don't get the credit sometimes. That there's a few more tools in the box than we let on. But speaking of tools, Chris, what do you got for us this week? I don't know how that played into a segue, but what do you got for us for a review?
From the review toolbox, is that what you're getting at? Okay, I'm going to open the toolbox here. This week, actually, Chris, I went to Spotify to read some comments that people left on specific episodes.
Okay.
And I pulled one from the episode where I served as the host and you served as the guest, where we talked about Scott Farkas. And we got one from Michael Arsenault, who said, in 2009, you came to the Senator in Chico, California. I was an incredibly young and drunk college student and loudly requested Scott Farkas throughout the show as it was my favorite song. I'd seen Less Than Jake a few times before, one of my favorite bands, and I could tell the band wasn't having the most fun night, likely due to the shithole that Chico is. I apologize, but will always follow you guys because after the show, you were still nice enough to chat for a bit.
Yes,
So there
that
you go.
was the Fat Records tour with Get Dead, and I remember that show because I bought my favorite pair ever of running shoes. I've never been able to find a pair. Yeah, that day in Chico. Yep.
You got to go to Chico for the running shoes. And no offense to anyone out there listening in Chico, this is not our words.
Yeah.
I'm just reading a review. This is someone who's apparently from Chico that's calling it a shithole. We are not saying that.
I don't remember that the show was bad, but I've had no problems with Chico over the years. There used to be a venue there called Brickworks. Less Than Jake used to play back in the day, so I like Chico, California. No hard feelings there. But thank you for providing us with that tidbit, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And anyone listening, hey, we love comments on the episodes. We see them. We love reviews on Apple Podcasts, so don't be afraid to spend a minute and leave us a comment or a review. We like those 5 stars always. And, it helps. Maybe someone's thinking about listening to the podcast. They might read what you have to say and actually tune in. So we always appreciate that.
That's right. And head over to ChrisDeMakes.com. That's where our Patreon's at. And you can help us keep the lights on here at Chris DeMakes, a podcast. And I want to thank this week's guests, Scott Klopfenstein and Aaron Barrett from Rio Big Fish. And we'll see you next week. Hey, friends. Have you been loving Chris DeMakes, a podcast? Well, spread the love by leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Don't hesitate to share what you enjoy about the show in an actual written review on Apple Podcasts. Not only does it help more people discover us, but we often read reviews in the wrap segment of the show. It's a quick, cost-free way to support us and takes just a minute of your time. Your reviews mean the world to us and help us keep the podcast thriving. Thank you for being a listener, and thank you for being a friend.
At ZocDoc, we know being a healthy adult is like living in a video game. Every day has side quests, taxes, laundry, birthdays. And just when you're leveling up, you have to book a doctor. The insurance portal crashes. They put you on hold. Your doctor doesn't take your plan. Game over. We see you. So we made booking a doctor easy. Download ZocDoc. Search by specialty, insurance, and availability. Book instantly. No cheat codes required. Find a doctor you love with ZocDoc.
Hello?
Look what TJ Maxx dragged in.
The Devil Wears Prada 2 is now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.
We are digital, we are downloadable, we are streamable.
The fashion event of the year is certified fresh.
Pull yourself together, we have work to do.
Critics say it's smart and witty and the perfect sequel.
That's all.
Get runway ready for The Devil Wears Prada 2 on Disney Plus and Hulu. Rated PG-13.